Welcome back to another Sasquatch TCG video, and today we are going over the second best deck in the game behind Blue-Green Luffy, one of the most meanest decks in the game, most impressive and strongest decks in the game at the current moment, Black-Yellow GH. This reader leads on your opponent's turn. You can trash a card with trigger from your hand to change the target of the attack to this leader or to one of your Blackbeard type characters. So this ability is very annoying, being able to stabilize your life, redirect attacks, and even stabilize into your leaders if they're swinging into their board and trying to serve you out. So your main pieces obviously are your 10-drop, which can negate a leader ability and negate a character swing and its ability. 8-drop Teach, which is top 3 to gain a life, which can set up one of your triggers. Your 1-drops for early game redirection and support. 9-drop Bow and Z Haha to drain life. And Borsalino to gain life and have a blocker set up. Stage, and this is my age, aka my era for consistency. And strong 2k counters and 4-drop Burgess to round up the deck, with 4-drop Burgess and Silent Wolf being your nice early game plays. So that's enough for the breakdown. Let's get into the games. And now we are going into game 1 against Blue-Green Luffy. Arguably our toughest matchup, so we're going to mulligan this hand. And our hand is not the greatest, but we have a Van Augur on one. And we are going first, which is, again, another detriment. We have 3 San Juan Wolves, which is actually really good for this matchup with the Shiryu. San Juan can scale our leader to get over everything but the Spawn Clay, but to get over the 5s and 6k swings, making our leader a 7. So they get the Searcher Luffy, they get the Bond Clay, they get the Restand event, and they get another Searcher Luffy, so they're off to a fantastic start. Well, we will be off to a very much slower one. We draw Borsalino, it's another stabilization piece for this coming turn. We'll just go 8 at life with nothing to play, and then hope to stabilize from here. So they're most likely going to pre-play a Galdino, play an Ivankov, or play a Croc Blocker. They probably won't play a Croc Blocker necessarily if they want to swing with their Bond Clay. They do, I can swing the Augur into it. I won't use a redirection this turn, I don't necessarily need to. Another Bond Clay comes down. Oh, Jesus. These Solid ones aren't very good into these Bond Clays. But again, we can remove them slowly and stabilize. And these Luffys aren't going to be attacking because of these Bond Clays, which is very good for us. On our next turn, we can establish something like a Borsalino after we take 2 hits here to gain a life, which I think would be the best course of action. Because we don't necessarily need to fully defensive stabilize yet in this matchup. Obviously, a Wiper would be really good to have here. It's a Sky Island Wiper tech to wipe your opponent's board, and they have another Luffy Searcher. So they just have the max consistency draw here, which isn't good for us, but we'll hopefully plan to board removal in San Juan Wolf later down the game and try to stabilize. Prisoner of Impel down, they grab, which means they have the combo in hand. They go 5 to life, we'll take. That's a Boa trigger, which I actually will use to play the San Juan. I know that dumps my cards in hand, which is the one thing Blackbeard struggles with, but I think it's overall perfectly okay to do. And there's the 10-drop. So now we can Borsalino to gain a life and get a blocker, kill the Bond Clay, and have redirection into Van Augur. So we'll go 2. If they want to give me a card, it's perfectly fine. And then they don't, so we get 2 swings at life, which is good pressure here. And then obviously we'll play the Borsalino because we can't play the Shiryu. Next turn we'll play the Shiryu to put San Juan on life, which will hopefully stabilize us this coming turn. Drawing all 4 San Juans is really funny, especially in the first game. 2 Prisoners of Impel down, which means their hand was loaded with 2s. I don't know why they're using 2s early and not wanting to take a dent in their life. Especially with them being at 3, this deck's really only scared when they're on life because you have to deal with its board so often. But overall, we should be pretty fine here. They swing into the Van Augur, all minus their leader. They swing with one of their Luffys, all minus to get rid of it, minus their leader, which means they have 1 less swing at my life, which is just what we want to happen. Yep, the Buggy combo is going to come down, getting rid of one of the Luffy Searchers for the Prisoner of Impel down. Again, if these Bond Clay swing, I'm just going to kill them, get rid of them. San Juan on life with the Shiryu in our hand, and then hope everything works out in the end. And so, Buggy combo, Resend 3, they have enough to swing a bunch of swings at me. This is a misplay, never pre-attached on when you're playing this game, because the triggers, they can remove stuff. Kind of mess up your math. I am going to use a redirect here to minus a leader. I could use this to minus. I don't necessarily want to, but it's a cycle and it prevents a swing. So we will. Luffy Center 3, their leader is a 2. We can get rid of their Bonclays. Hopefully. They do have a blocker. I'm not going to get in with this Borsellino, though, if we need to. As long as we get these Bonclays, Sun 1 on life is perfectly okay. No, opponent, can you pass a turn? Okay, they pass. We draw 2K. We'll go 6 at Bonclay. Because again, we can just play another Borsellino here. We're going to go 6-6, play Borsellino. I want to see what they do. They just let it go. I do want Sanwan on life really bad. I don't necessarily need this blocker. Again, sequel video for coming out this Sunday for the other starter decks, Purple Kata, Red Black, Sabo, and Yellow Kid, and this will be another shout out to. If you want to, click that subscribe, notification bell, comment, all that jazz, really helps me out. Of course, starting content creator, just posting deck content, because I just like playing this game, that's all it is. I like playing cards in general. We'll have some Magic Draft content coming out, maybe some Commander decks, because those are some fun Magic games I like to play, Commander, and I like drafting the limited sealed format's very nice. That's enough for the shoutouts. Let's get back into it. Just pass the turn to the opponent. It's most likely going to be a 7-drop Boa hitting our Shiryu. But then again, if they do that, that's not a lot of pressure, but the Mr. 3 comes down and a Dasbone comes down, so there is going to be a lot of pressure. If they use this Mr. 3, I'm just going to have to get rid of it immediately overall. It's too much pressure with their Buggy and Prisoner and Pell down if they want to even swing with them. If they swing with that Buggy, I'm going to hard target it down. There's no point if I don't. Basically, just pressure into it with an 8K swing from my Shiryu, a 6K swing from my Borsellino, because I'm not, again, at this current moment, not scared to swing with it. We'll see how this turn ends up, though. They go 5 to life. Now I'm probably going to counter. I don't necessarily have to. Actually, I probably will just take and trigger. Draw another 2, which is good. Second 2 of the game. Now, I don't think they're going to attack with the Prisoner of Impel unless they play one. No, they play the Brook, which is interesting. So they're going to Brook rest my Shiryu. They can't even resand Dawn, so they just pre-playing the Brook to save it, and they just pass. So what do we have in our hand? We got a Boa, which is probably just going to be our play. Oh, they're trying to restand event kill me. Oh, but Brook is an Impel down. Kind of confused. Won't lie. Kind of confused. They also have protection with this free redirect into Sanwan, and we can lead back the blocker Borsellino. So again, after this Boa, I'm not really scared of death. Block here. I'm going to force them to give me 2 cards. The deck does play a lot of 2s. They play probably 12. We're just going to gain drain for 1. And we've got a good amount of counter. We have a redirect. We have 3 life. We have blocker. This matchup's usually pretty tough if they go first and get off to an aggressive start, or if they go second and take our curve and they play really well with it, which they almost did this game. But again, their curve with the Sanwans are really nice, seeing all of them into this matchup, especially letting me have more defense. Opponent draws 8 cards in hand. Dead Man's Game, I guess. Perfectly okay. That makes sense. Even though that's like a lot of Dawn wasted, and if this thing's Buggy, I'm gonna kill it. This one with the Dasbones, I'll still kill it with my board. I have access to just like straight up playing 10 drop Borsellino if I need to. Still have a redirect and Son one for defense. I might actually rip here, but we have a defensive Shiryu on the board, so we don't have to rip it right away necessarily. Again, comment down below what deck you want to see next. I'm going to try to do as much meta-relevant decks as possible. They go 5 to life. Probably just going to take. I'm at 3 life. I don't need to use stage. Stage is kind of interesting because it's a brick this late in the game, especially with me not having much of their top end I want to play. Again, though, we haven't seen a Z ha ha ha. I see one. It's definitely not like the worst in the world. I might have should have redirected here, but I will give them 2K. Eight out life with Brook, which means they're probably going to use it this turn. At this point, I'll use my redirect. Again, if they swing with Buggy, I'm going to go 10 into it. 5 into the Galdino. 8 with Buggy. I'm at 6 cards. We'll give them a 2K. Drew Docu. I mean, I'm going to start with 10 at the Brook, being the most scary card. I mean, I don't mind staging. Pitching Spurgis. Z ha ha ha. We'll go 6. And we'll Z ha the Buggy and their leader ability, which doesn't matter, but it gets a blocker on board. Now I have 4 in hand, 10K block, 12K blocker, 1-2 life, and a leader ability. I should live no matter what, even if it's like Rush Luffy, Rest Blocker, which is the line they have now with the new Ace Luffy starter deck, which is just a very strong line overall. But we'll see what happens. Leather Croc, pick up the Buggy that I negated, which means we'll probably play it again to get blockers on board. Which is pretty good by them. But then, again, we can stabilize with another Borsellino. Swing at their board again, swing at their life, even pressure at all the blockers. Which is probably what we're going to do. Again, when you plan to teach, you have to play. I mean, if you play in the blue-green Luffy, you really only care about board control. Because as long as they don't have the pressure, they can't win the game very well, but they're very good at playing a continuous finishing game. They just don't have as much survivability past their blockers. So cards like Dead Man's Game and Roger can get past them very well. They have 1 swing this turn, so I'll just take the life. There's a Ziha. I'll use a trigger because they're at 0. Discard the stage. They probably have to pass here with 1-1 up for the race stand. The goal is just to force out both blockers here and gain a life with Borsellino. We have a 10 or 12 and an 8 on base. 6 at Borsellino, 1 with this, 6 at life, 2 with this. See, I don't even... Oh, I can just block it. I lied. There's block. Which means we're leaving no, they can resend too. Or did they use that to play the Dasmones? Okay, we'll go 10 life. They're just bow it up. 3 2s, block. 8 life. Shiryu trigger, which is good. Well, that's game 1. We'll see you for game 2. We are now going into game 2 against Black Yamato. We got to go second, which is huge for this matchup because it throws off their curve, and we got a pretty decent hand. Isn't the greatest. Might have should have mulliganed, but Borsellino, Ziha, Vasco, and Burgess. Pretty good curve, pretty good finishing, pretty good late game. So they nom me for Kinemon, getting rid of one of their ground deaths, and we find the 10 drop and 2 Momos. Which them getting rid of the Momos is perfectly fine for them because they can obviously get them back with their one of their 8-drop Yamatos. I call it Pickup Yamato. Picks up a 6 or less and plays a 2. They got the blocker. If they go 6 life, I'll take. First life is usually free. Surprised they played the blocker before. Again, you should know on board, like... Oh, I'll take it. Trigger. Is there anything I want to play? Not really. We'll keep the bow in hand then. On our turn, we'll draw another Teach, which is kind of rough. 5 life play bird does pass. And kind of just go through the early game motions before we have any major decisions, which will come up actually pretty shortly with our redirects. At least we can discard Boa to our next redirect that we potentially want to use. Well, Burgess is now on the board. So, opponent draws turn 4 dawn. They search the Kingdom one early with the Nami, which is most likely, again, what they are going to play. So this is like another version of the Nami on a 4/6 searcher. So they'll find a double attack Ryuma. I've wanted to try this card in variations. I have not seen it in variations. Very interesting card. No 6-cost elements will be known yet, but down 2 ground nests, which is very good. Some of us are only playing 2, some are playing 4, some are playing 2 and 2 Zombie Luffy to make their leader 7k for more defense. They're probably going to go 6 life. And again, with a Borsalino in hand and nothing else to do, I'll take. Trigger, get a 2k, because I have 2 turn drops in my hand. We draw an 8 drop, so again, we're curving out pretty well. Make sure you don't misplay my Devon. Then we'll probably just go 6 life. My hand is looking pretty juiced right now, at least. They give me the one. They give me 2 1s. Some builds, they're playing a much more aggressive build than with the Choppers and the Ryumas. No 6-cost Yamato in trash or in hand. They're just going to play at the Ryuma, which is very good for me. A very, very slow start. We can rest and swing into the Ryuma now with our Vasco shot, which is another misplay on their end. Just like to call it the small misplay. Swing before you play bodies, especially against Teach when there's stuff like Vasco shot on the board. And don't stack on like they are doing. So we'll draw, rest. They go 6 with their leader. 2k with Dog Q. And again, this is why Teach is known as one of the best sticks in the game. You have the best control pieces. You're basically holding 2 control sticks that can control the entire game. You're going to pop a 6 out there. Ryuma. Again, that double attack swing is really nasty. They'll block. I'll go 6 again. Wow. Got it there. Long day today, chat. Long day. They countered with Ace, so they definitely are playing one of the more aggressive builds. I have 2 Devons and this. What do I want to discard? Ziha, 2k. 8 of the Ryuma, because again, we don't want to see a double attack coming at us, even if we can redirect it. It always forces a card out of my hand, basically, even just for a 7, and I don't want them controlling what they want. I don't want them having control, I want us having control. They give me 2 cards, it's perfectly fine. No, they let it go, and we'll set up a Devon for an AK swing later down the line. But it's just another redirect target that is not Burgess. 6-cost Yamato finally hits the board with a draw discard, but then we now have access to 10 drop spam at 3 life, which means we will most likely win this game in the end. 8 at Borsalino. This is perfectly fine. It's just another block. Bird just hits 7k, which is nice. Because now we have 8 cards in trash. The Yamato, we can 2k out of it to protect the Burgess, forcing them to attach their Dawn, and then we can clear their board. We're going to go 6 to life, which I will counter out with a 2k. Almost misclicked. And they don't use the Yamato for some reason. They're setting up a Momo play where they can play the Momo, then use the Yamato to pick up their thing. But we can actually just negate this Yamato's skills with our 10 drop. So again, we don't really care. It's the power black teach. We're just going to say, play this. Look, you don't have, you can't play anything off that anymore. Force them to give me a card. If they do, I'll swing the Devon into it. If I don't, I will keep the Devon. This kind of puts them into a stalemate, especially if they're in a Momo combo with that. With a 2, a teach, and 2, and a stage, we're in a pretty good spot to win. Yeah, so they were setting up for a Momo combo. Pop a 6 and a 6. Finally, we will finally start swinging at their life with a 5 at lead. I don't necessarily like to starve anyone, but I guess I was accidental starving because I wanted to swing at their board a whole bunch in this matchup. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. So they have another one. That's perfectly fine now. They can't just like straight up Momo combo off it. And we can just keep that one on lockdown. Especially with the redirect and a block. We're in a pretty good spot, especially if we start finding Zihas. I might actually swing with the teaches depending on how much life I am. Discard Yamato. Otama 2K, sorry. Thank the Lord there's not like an 8. I'm so happy the Sanji 2K is not a. They're not playing 8-9. Well, there's an 8-9 generic Sanji 2K. I'm happy that's not like a Yamato that they could also play, which would be really funny. They're attaching a Dawn to their Yamato. I'm just gonna block this. Again, when playing against Yamato, always make sure to figure out how many 8 drops they have, which one. I like this play that I'm going 8 into it, because I'm the Nami, and swing 3 into it if I give them a card, which forced me to give them another card. And then one more for the redirect, which we don't necessarily want to do. The problem is the Yamato they have to play is the one they don't want to play. So if they don't hit an unblockable one here in trash, which they didn't. They're forced to play the one that lets them pick up a card, but I can go 12 into that. And again, they make the smart play with not swinging. Find Ziha, which means we can outplay this My Era. Means we can grab this Van Augur. Do I really want to play this Augur? Not really. It's going to be my trigger choice. I have 16 cards in already, which is why we play the birds. Even though we're not mono black teach, we'll make this 11, a 12k. It's still a 9. First game I've actually had it be a 9. Haven't played much teach though. Push a 9 life, and we're basically guaranteed to live with a nullified Yamato and them not having any unblockable ones in their trash. With 3 life and still access to a redirect. They draw, they pay 8. I don't think they know how their deck works. Looks like we got basically a bog gale, which is someone who doesn't know how their deck works, because Yamato can't swing. So unless they're just doing it to show me they're conceding, which they are. This one's basically unwrapped, so we'll see you in the next one. We are finally now going into our last game against Red Green Ace Luffy, which is a pretty favorite matchup overall for us because we can turn off their leader ability and swing into their board with our 10 drop teach. So in this matchup, our goal is to stabilize effectively. So we'll make it to 10 on like most of our matchups. But then once we get there, have a board so we can wreck their board and win the game. 10 drop, we have Stage going first, and Ziha and 10 drop, so we'll keep. Stage away the Ziha. And grab the Van Augur here. Van Augur, we want it, so it's our earliest one, with us not having another one. They play their Inazuma Searcher. Grab Rush Ace from ST15. Self-protection, but again, we don't play any removal, so it's perfectly fine. And the Protection Laboon, which again, we don't play any removal, so it's perfectly fine. Get rid of the Borsalino. Find a Dock Q. I know getting rid of Borsellino's like, why are you getting Borsellino's one of your best cards? It's because my hand is currently 2/2s, a San Juan, and a Teach, and we need 2s for this matchup because they're a 6K leader. San Juan's a nice redirect because they like to poke swing a lot in their deck, so I'd rather keep that in hand. Probably should have pitched one of the 2s being at 4 life, but it is what it is. And from here, we'll pass the turn. And then later in the line, not this turn, next turn we have a redirect with our Van Oddgore. Six at life, first one is always free. Trigger the Zeha, discard the stage, and we see Shiri. So now we're perfect curve this point on for the game. Just play the Luffy and pass, and we see another Zeha. So here we're actually going to discard a 2K to get the Vasco shot. And 6 life, and then play our San Juan. It's really good, actually, that we got to go first in this matchup, because then we can poke 6 every turn while playing the things we want to play. Here comes that San Juan. Because then on our 4th turn, we can go 6 life with our leader, and then play Shiryu on our 9. We can go 8 Dawn Teach life with leader, with a Dawn on it. So it just helps our efficiency a lot more. Which is obviously what you want to do. You win games by being efficient in the optcg. So it's our opponent's 6th Dawn turn. They can play stuff like 6 cost Law. To pick up their something like a Laboon or a Searcher and play a 6 drop. So 6 drops they can play 6K. 5 drops they can play are Yasop, which pumps their leader to a 7, which is, in my opinion, is really strong unless they're cutting it. Or one of their 4 drops rested, or a 5 drop carrot to freeze something. Though they're at 2 life early on, which is really good for this. Them being 6K leader, low and 1 life earlier for us is really strong. Now we just wait to see what they do. 6 at life, rest nothing. I probably will redirect here into the Oddger, draw minus the leader. Basically just prevents the most swings. Shiryu, San Juan on life. Shiryu discard San Juan. 5 drop 8 Searcher again, another very strong card. Basically top 5 for any Whitebeard, so the decks are playing a more Whitebeard centric package where they can have more searchable hits with their ace on play and on KO. Oh, and it can search Luffy's, that's why. Basically searches your entire deck. Pitch, 8 drop. Again, we're curving it very nicely here. Pop a 6 to life, force a card. Then 6 drop, pitch this, put Oddgar on life. I might actually put the San Juan on life after seeing this being played. Means that it limits the plays, need to attach extra Dawn. Mad, I don't necessarily have another Shiryu to put there. I actually am going to put the Vasco shot, guaranteed 1 less swing at my face on this trigger. Now, again, this is the power of Teach. I had 3 cards I wanted to put on my life. All of them basically stop some form of variance or swings, or stop me from having to give it less cards, but I'm at 4 life. So take 1, rest 1 swing. They're cycling with their Ivankov, which means they probably don't have much relatively in their hand. No, they have the Rush Luffy and the Law, 6 also you saw in their hand, which is very strong, and the Rush Luffy basically gets to give an extra Rusted Dawn every turn, which is also really relevant for pressure. So they draw 3 up to 10, discard 2 down to 8, and then they have 6 on, which will probably be 6 drop Law, get rid of the Ivankov, pick up the Balloon, play the Luffy, or play Yasop, or play Carrot. It's getting a little scary for me. Luckily, we have the San Juan that is just going to be sitting around, not for this turn, but for the next turn when they try to blow me up by swinging a bunch at my life. Discard the Luffy and the Luffy we saw, and another Luffy, which means their hand was probably had a lot of bricks in their hand. Bricks are a term for a card with no counter. With the Laws and the Luffy's. Yeah, and they kept a 6 cost on their hand because that's probably the play they're going for. 8 to life. Take, trigger, rest. Your dog use. They might just naturally be playing a 5/6 Luffy because they have another one, which would be crazy. Interesting. Definitely a small misplay there. At least I believe where they could have got set up as 6-cost Luffy. And I will trigger this to draw. Set up with Vasco. Hey, we are going to discard Shiryu to stage after we swing 6 life. Swing 6 and 8 life first to see variants on what they want to give me and what they want to play. Because I imagine they're taking up both this life. We don't need to see how anymore. We're going to go 8 to life. The +3 draw event. Discard Shiryu. Top 3. There's no 2s here, so I'll just grab the Van Augur, but that will probably be our redirect card. We'll play 8-drop Teach. The problem is this really sucks because I want these for this matchup, so we will put it on the top of our life. But getting rid of that Solid 1 trigger, that would have been very nice in our life as well. So it's our opponent's turn. They draw. It's going to be interesting to see what they do from here. We will hopefully be releasing some in-person content at some point this summer with some Pokemon GLC gameplay, aka Gym Leader Challenge, which will be really nice. Gym Leader Challenge is basically a Pokemon format that you can only play one of every card, which in usual Pokemon you can play 4. But you can only use one type of Pokemon, and what the hell is their hand? What are they doing? 12 at life? Sure. Looks like we got... I didn't get to show the full power of Teach, but again, if you learn how to play this deck properly, it's insanely powerful like we showed in that first game. They just pass? Yeah, okay. I'm sorry for the games today, everybody. They're bad, but it's time for me to go. It's time for you to enjoy your evening and have a Sasquatch... Can't say that, but have a Sasquatch evening and subscribe.